Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting live episode of Hack the Movies. And I am here with Logan from Video Villa. How you doing, Logan?
Hey, Tony. Good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I miss you, Logan. For those of you who don't know, I was on Logan's channel. What, last month? The month before? Last month, right?
Yeah.
We did Memoirs of the Invisible Man, the John Carpenter film. That was a good time.
Oh, it was a great film. Great film.
And I just want to say, Logan, all right, I'm not trying to start any drama or anything, but you're so much better than Gil from One Take. It's just a way better channel, more informative. When I was on your show, I didn't get one of my channels deleted a week later. When I was on Gil's show, I got one of my channels deleted a week later. And when I said, hey, do you want to review Planet of the Apes with me? You said yes, and you committed to it. Unlike Gil, who dropped out. So again, I don't want to start any drama. I'm not going to say stuff like unsubscribe from One Take. But yes, we're here to talk about the Planet of the Apes movies, but not all of them, just the modern ones. And we're going to try and figure out what is the best modern Planet of the Apes movie. And we're starting from Rise, okay? I will do Tim Burton's one day, but that is not counted in the modern ones.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one. I mean, I've seen it, but I did not rewatch it.
Yeah. But before we go any further, the name of the game is Super Chats, everyone. Get your Super Chats in. We will read anything you say. We'll answer any questions you have within reason. And Super Chats mean more than ever now, okay, Logan? Because old Uncle Tony just bought new cameras and they were very expensive. So please leave a goddamn Super Chat and, become a patron, preferably at the $10 tier. And I also have a cameo and some spicy sites. So yeah, I know I always need money, but I really need money right now. So yeah, I already see some coming in. And yeah, if you're on Twitch, I will make sure to check Twitch if you leave bits or anything. StreamYard only lets me know what YouTube, whoever's paying on YouTube. It doesn't highlight all the other ones, so I will check that out. But yes, Logan.
Yes.
Before we get into the modern stuff, what is your familiarity with just the entire Planet of the Apes franchise? Like, did you grow up watching them?
Oh yeah. My dad's an older dad. So
Yeah.
he's probably he was probably 10 years older than everybody else's dad when I was growing up.
Okay.
So this is his stuff. He was big into watching movies in the 60s and 70s. So he introduced all this kind of stuff to me. I've seen them all, mind you, I haven't watched those. I literally haven't rewatched them in over 20 years, but
Yeah.
I have seen them all. And I really enjoyed the first one. That's the one I remember the most of, obviously, because it's the most iconic one. But yeah, this was, I mean, my mom was a movie buff too. So, I mean, we watched a lot of movies. And when I got to a certain age, he was like, well, let me show you this. Let me show you some Mel Brooks stuff. Let me show you some Charleston Heston stuff. Let's watch Ben-Hur and stuff like that. So, the franchise is a great franchise. And I really like the revampedness of it and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'd have to go back and actually rewatch them. I saw they're all on Hulu and Disney Plus, which I didn't realize. I love the original, obviously. That is probably the best one. It's a total classic. That second one, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, which we're going to talk about later, because I think they might have circled back to one of the more wild aspects of that. That movie has a just insanely violent downer of an ending. Obviously the first movie has the most spoiled ending in history.
Oh yeah.
It's funny. Both movies that have the most spoiled ending in history both have Charlton Heston. The other one is Soylent Green.
Oh yeah.
People. But yeah, the original one is great. Very, very 60s. Based off a book or short story, I forget, called Monkey Planet.
It was a foreign book, right?
Yeah, it was a foreign book, and then Rod Serling from the Twilight Zone helped write the original. But yeah, all the sequels which are technically prequels because there's time travel involved with one of them. Anyway, all of those movies are pretty good. They have a lot of interesting ideas. They probably didn't have the effects or technology to really see those ideas through. But I think everyone agrees that there's a lot of interesting concepts in the Planet of the Apes. So when they said that they were going to reboot it in 2011, obviously the Tim Burton one is its own thing. It's over there somewhere. I was a little curious to like what they were going to do, and they said they were going to do a prequel, and I was just like, do we need a prequel to the Planet of the Apes? I think we got it. I think we understood, right? I didn't have any questions. Like, oh yeah, the world blew up, and then apes got smarter and humans got dumber. Cool, got it. But apparently, we needed an origin. And that leads us to our first film, The Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I remember when they advertised this, the first thing they did was show where is it? Just this video of Andy Serkis as Caesar. It was like a random clip of Andy Serkis as Caesar just looking. And I was a little upset at first. I'm like, oh, they're going digital. Because I didn't realize that it was such a prequel that they're still just normal apes in the first one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of got over it. The effects are solid in this film.
Yeah, because a lot of the motion capture we got before this, to be honest, was trash. I mean, was not good. I mean, Beowulf was awful.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of like, and the fact that this was supposed to be mocap as well. So it's like very, like, I was already on the fence of like, how is this going to look good? Because all the stuff before it looks so awful.
Yeah, except for like Gollum. Like that's
Oh yeah, Gollum. Yeah, now that's so I take that back. Gollum was great.
Yeah, but
still holds up to this day.
Yeah, but then you had stuff like the Silver Surfer and stuff. Like it was kind of like, all right, we're gonna go all in on this. But yeah, I guess I'll just read this plot synopsis here from the beautiful Blu-ray. Rise of the Planet of the Apes is a revolution, an action-packed epic featuring stunning visual effects and creatures unlike anything ever seen before. Except for all the other Planet of the Apes movies. At the story's heart is Caesar, Andy Serkis, who had experience playing an ape. He was King Kong. A chimpanzee who gains human-like intelligence and emotions from an experimental drug. It's actually a virus. Raised like a child by the drug's creator, James Franco, who I've had an encounter with in person. I'll tell that story another time.
It's not a good one, I guess.
No, James Franco's people were not happy with me and a guy I used to work with. That was the same night I got yelled at by Miss Piggy's representative and will.i.am's guy. All in one night. What a night that was. Caesar ultimately finds himself taken from the humans he loves and imprisoned, seeking justice. Caesar assembles a simian army and escapes, putting man and primate on a collision course that could change the planet forever. Logan, when did you first see this movie?
I saw it in theaters.
So did I. This was actually a very early Hack the Movies episode.
Oh, shit.
Back when I started in like 2010, 2011, when we were reviewing movies in parking lots. This was like a very early one. So what did you think back then?
I mean, so when I remember when it was coming out, to be honest, I wasn't hyped for it at all.
Neither was I. Neither was I.
I mean, and like it was at this point in like time, like where I was just seeing movies. I was working. I didn't have a girlfriend at the time. I did just fill my time with just literally going to the movies because I used to work at the movie theater, and then I just like I still had friends that worked there. So like I was every other week I was going to the movies just to spend the time, whatever. And I remember I saw this one, and it's good. When I first watched it, it was good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A rewatch. It's better now that I've matured a little bit more because I was probably like 18 or something like that. No, I was probably like 2011. So sorry, I was like 21 when this came out.
Yeah, around the same age as me. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think I was ready for a film kind of like this because it is kind of a Debbie Downer. It's pretty depressing. And I remember being pretty depressing at the time. The rewatch, I was like, holy crap, man, this is just sad because the complications of everything that happens afterwards, and then also what Caesar goes through, and just how you just see all this hatred towards him. I'm like, I don't remember it being that bad. And then the rewatch, I'm like, oh, this movie's hard to watch.
Yeah, it's actually more. I actually like it more now, knowing how the series. I mean, I guess I technically always knew how the series goes because it was billed as a Planet of the Apes prequel. But like now that you see like what happens after this, I'm like, man, this one's even more depressing. Now these movies are very sad, by the way.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And like all this guy wanted to do was just cure Alzheimer's. That's all he wanted to
Oh,
do.
and oh my God, John Lithgow is so great in this
Yeah,
movie. He's
and
so great.
and unfortunately, no one told him like, hey, there was a lady who tried to do this with sharks in the 90s. It didn't work out. He never heard of Deep Blue Sea. I guess the Deep Blue Sea incident didn't take place in this universe because someone would have been like, no. We tried this with sharks. It backfired. Don't do it. Don't do it. But yeah, he works for a company and he thinks he's making a breakthrough testing on chimps, but one of the chimps gets out and causes a whole scene. They kill it. They're like, kill all the chimps. And he realizes it had a baby, which is why he was freaking out. And the baby is Caesar, who he then raises and keeps giving the drug to and eventually matures. So yeah, he basically like, I like the relationship between Caesar and I think his name's Will. I think James Franco plays Will. It's good. I mean, I like this whole like backstory of the Caesar, like being one of them, how he's like smarter than everything. But then it gets a little sad because John Lithgow's brain starts to revert back. Like he gives the same thing to his dad and it cures his Alzheimer's, but only for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And then he just mentally breaks down and eventually dies. Yeah, Caesar is a really good character. How do you feel about him?
Oh no, he's great. I mean, this
Yeah.
his character and this little story arc, and it's just I really like how it blooms throughout the franchise.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, and I think the original with establishing his character and it being mainly a Caesar story,
Yeah.
I feel like that makes the sequels hit even harder when you
Mhm.
get to those stories. When you get to that point, because you literally are just traveling with Caesar this entire storyline.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. Like I mean, he was definitely lovable, and you just like you felt for the guy,
Mhm.
and especially those scenes where he's like, "What am I? You know, am I a pet?" And he's like, "No, you're not a pet." And he's
Yeah.
like, "Okay, then what am I?" And you know, like James Franco has to explain to him, "Oh, this is where you came from. Your mother was here, and X, Y, and
Mm.
Z." And that whole point, like you know, you think this very intelligent chimp has lived all his life not thinking of himself in this way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Because he's
It's very
lived with
heartfelt.
he's in like a weird position because like he doesn't fit in with the humans. He has
Yeah,
to
oh,
be
yeah,
isolated. He
yeah.
only talks to three: Will, his dad, and Will's girlfriend, played by Frida Pinto. Um, yeah, and so he feels like he wants to be with them. Like he tries to help the neighbor, the poor neighbor in this movie, the neighbor, the most unlucky neighbor in the history of films, I think. Caesar is just everyone in this family is accidentally just fucking with this neighbor. But he attacks him and then he gets sent to an ape sanctuary run by some assholes. But then he like also doesn't fit in with the apes because he's
Yeah.
smarter than them, but he also hasn't been like around them. So yeah, I like the. I actually didn't include any pictures of it, but I like that he's in the attic and he just looks out the window.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
and when he's in captivity, he draws like the window to kind of remind him of home. But then it's also like, hey, what's outside the window is like what I want, so it kind of represents freedom, and it ends up being the symbol throughout the rest of the films,
Oh, it's great. It's great.
which is real subtle, which I really liked. But yeah, so he has a plan to make all the chimps smarter because he realizes like, no, I gotta help apes. Like I could just go back with humans, like, but apes, this is wrong. We shouldn't be here. And I do like that the sanctuary kind of looks like the cage from the original film. It's also the one that's on the poster.
Mhm.
So yeah, he has a plan to steal all the brain juice and give it to the other apes. This new brain juice, which is highly experimental. Like even James Franco doesn't want to go forward with it, but his money hungry boss is like, do it. I guess that boss is really the one to blame for everything.
Well, also, James Franco flips on his head because he's
Yeah.
literally about to give it to his dying dad.
Yeah.
And then he also he's like, wait a second, we don't know the complications of this. I'm like, you were
Yeah.
literally about to give it to your dad the night before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, where was that rationality of like back then? Like, he just like it's just kind of like he's so adamant about on testing it on his dad, but
Mhm.
then, oh, we don't know the ramifications of it because if his like, I guess if you thought like if his dad did take it and it was a virus, then he would give it to James Franco. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that is the important thing is it's a virus. It's a virus that targets whatever is causing the Alzheimer's, but it can like go out of control. Uh so yeah, someone gets exposed to it. Dale from Tucker and Dale versus Evil. He's also an unlucky son of a bitch. He gets exposed to it, and we see him get sick throughout the film. And I remember at the time being like, "What's that all about?" And I just like kept forgetting. They did it enough where they just sprinkled it in, and then the in between like all these big story moments, so you kind of forgot about it. And
Yeah.
it's what makes that ending hit so hard.
Oh yeah. Whew.
But yeah, I like this relationship here. Caesar and his boys. He meets some boys in the pen. Unfortunately, that guy in the back doesn't make it. Poor Buck. He gets replaced, but yeah, Buck the gorilla doesn't make it. This was the standout character for me.
Oh
Besides
yeah,
Caesar.
Maurice is
Maurice,
fantastic. Oh god.
played by a lady who's in a bunch of movies, but she was also in the second episode of Blade, and you would know that if you watch my show Blade Boys, which is available on Patreon for YouTube channel members. This is the best CGI in the movie is Maurice.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was like a suit for a long time, like an enhanced suit. I'm like, that looks 100% real. That is not CGI. Then I saw how they made it. I'm like, holy shit, that is CGI. I'm like, why don't they
Yeah.
all look that good? But yeah,
I
he's
think it's because the monkey has the ape has so much defining features that you can
yeah,
actually just target on, and it's the only one. So I
yeah,
think that's why they can focus more of the interest in just that one. Because
yeah.
I could be wrong, but I don't really recall getting too much close up to any other like orangutan or something like that.
No, it's I actually think that was the only orangutan in the film. And they made it sure it was one of those big face ones. I
Yeah.
forget, not all of them have that. I remember years ago looking up like what the deal with that was. I think it's like I forget exactly why it's like that. But yeah, Maurice is my favorite. It's the only one that knows how to do sign language because it was in the circus. So it's kind of like Caesar's only like real like
Companion or whatever that
yeah,
he can
yeah.
actually communicate with.
Yes, but even then, Caesar is limited.
Yeah.
Maurice is limited because it's still an ape. But that's when he does the whole thing like, hey, apes, if they work together, they're strong. And he does the whole thing with the sticks.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, well, apes are stupid. Who cares? And one of those stupid apes is Rocket, this bald ape, who just doesn't like, just hates Caesar as soon as he shows up, is like making fun of him, beating the shit out of him, and then Caesar is smart and beats the shit out of him.
I like the scene, like right before he does that.
Hmm.
I don't where he's like getting pampered by the other apes, and he's just
Yeah.
sitting there like he's like from like Roman times.
Yeah.
They're digging at his fingernails.
But yeah, no, I like Rocket because Rocket is kind of like what makes Caesar realize like I got to make these chimps smarter.
Yeah,
Because it's just like, hey, I beat him and now he's like cowering, he's afraid of me. He's like, but I don't want him to be afraid of me, but that's how chimps are. He's like, but it shouldn't be like that. I gotta fix this.
yeah.
So yeah, his boy Rocket there. And then we meet this guy, Koba, who at the time I didn't realize was gonna be such a big deal, but he is a bonobo, which used to be considered a chimpanzee. They're not anymore.
Mhm.
He was born like he's just been in captivity his entire life, used as an experiment. And I like that he's like really trained to be a lab, like bonobo.
Yeah.
Like when they give him the cookie and then he comes out and he's like, give me more, give me more.
The
uh
funny thing about his kind, his
yeah.
species, they're actually known to be less aggressive than chimpanzee. I don't know if you were about to say
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
cut you
I
off,
saw
sorry.
that, but he gets the new virus, I think.
The 13, yeah.
Yes. But yeah,
ALZ 113, yeah.
yeah, but now that he has increased intellect, he now knows like revenge and anger and hatred. And like I like that he's like spelling the guy's name and looking at him, and he
Yeah.
looks creepy as hell. I don't think it's Toby Kebbell in this one.
Yeah, I don't think so. At least if it is him, he's not on the IMDb list.
Yeah, no, I don't think he was in this one. But yeah, Koba is kind of cool because you kind of feel good for him. It's like, man, he lived in hell and now he's like
Oh
gets
yeah.
to be free with all the other. Like Caesar had a good upbringing compared to most apes.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
Caesar had the life that all
yeah,
the I mean, like, literally, he was a pampered ape his whole like, even though he wanted to like, if he just stayed in the attic, he would
yeah,
have died a happy ape.
yeah,
But it's still like he did still wanted to be, get outside and see new things. If he would have known how these apes were living, obviously he probably would have thought different of it. But
yeah. Although I wonder, like, how smart does this virus make them? Because like Caesar's like an adult basically. And you're not allowed to have adult chimpanzees because when they hit puberty, they go fucking nuts.
well, that's another thing. So
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up because the scenes where they're like in the sanctuary and
yeah.
freaking Malfoy or whatever is being a dick to him or whatever.
Oh yeah, hold on. I got a slide of him. There he is.
But okay, first off, those apes would rip him to fucking shreds.
Yeah,
They wouldn't take two shits from
yeah,
him. Like it's just very unrealistic that they're like the apes are scared of them because apes are incredibly strong,
yeah,
incredibly strong. And when they are violent, like they mangle human beings.
yeah. I think they said the strength of 10 men, like a regular chimpanzee has the strength of 10 men.
Oh yeah, because like
Um,
their thought process is when they go in battle, like if they
yeah,
get in fight with an opponent, is to disarm the opponent. So then
yeah.
they can't be a threat anymore.
Like there's that I saw this video years ago on like a nature documentary, probably on YouTube too, where it's just like chimpanzees hanging out, like eating like fruit or whatever, like twigs, and then they see like a monkey, and then they all freak out, like grab the monkey, just bash its
Oh
head
yeah,
in,
oh yeah,
and
oh
start
god.
eating it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, they're omnivores. People always think they're just eating like leaves and stuff. Like, no, they're omnivores. They will rip shit
Oh no,
up.
that they have tendencies to hunt. That is
Yeah,
natural for their behavior is to hunt.
yeah. But yeah, Tom Felton. So a lot of this movie is basically the opposite of the original Planet of the Apes. So the apes are in cages. Humans are the ones hosing them down and
Yeah.
everything, which is very similar to when the apes hose down Charlton Heston. And speaking of Charlton Heston, Tom Felton gets a bunch of it, like gets or at least gets
Oh
one of
yeah.
his lines. It's a madhouse, a madhouse when he's like torturing all of them. So yeah, there are a lot of references to the original, like Caesar's building a Statue of Liberty Lego set.
Yeah.
The names, there was a ape that led a rebellion in one of the later movies called Caesar. Bright Eyes, I think, was Charlton Heston's name that the one ape gave him, and Bright Eyes was Caesar's mother.
Yeah.
And usually I hate stuff like that in prequels. I hate when prequels have to explain like every little detail, but it kind of works for me in this one
Hmm.
because the movie it's building up to is set so far in the future. Like little stuff like these names will probably get passed down throughout generations. Like
Yeah.
it's not like that'll be the person from that film. No. It's not like Han Solo's gun in Solo where it's like, wow, that's how he got his gun. It was another guy's gun, and I'm like, I don't fucking care. Um, this it works for me. The whole movie works. I love the whole like finale on the Golden Gate Bridge. That was exciting. All right, it was a little confusing. So I know he made the apes in the sanctuary smart.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming maybe the apes in the building that they free are smart, but the ones from the zoo, I'm guessing they will get smart because it turns out to be like a flu that spreads,
Yeah.
but they're not smart right away. So the fact that like they all start following Caesar, they're smart. Like, no, the zoo ones would probably just be freaking out and running around. They wouldn't be like
Yeah.
following this ape. They'd be like, what the fuck is this? Ah. Um, but I like that they're like riding horses, they're grabbing like parts of the fence that look like spears. Like, okay, it's starting to look a little like the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. Especially when he comes riding in on the horse.
Yeah, yeah, which I saw in the trailer and I'm like, okay, what the hell? And again, for a movie I really thought wasn't going to be great, I ended up loving it. It's weird that people look back on this one as like the weak one.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I'm guessing people really love the next two. And
Yeah.
maybe I don't know, are they the best? We'll find out at the end. But maybe they are like better movies, but like that doesn't diminish this one. Like this one's fine. This everything we like in those movies stems from this one. So
Well,
yeah,
the year, so 2011 when it came out,
yeah,
it didn't make the most amount of money that was the
no,
Harry Potter film, but
yeah,
apparently it was the most popular film of the year.
yeah,
Like as far as like when people went back and like rated it, like
yeah,
it was the most popular film of 2011.
yeah.
I mean, that's the same year we got Captain America, Thor,
Hmm.
and the third Transformers. But like,
Yeah.
and then like, was it? I can't remember the Harry Potter, but it's the part 2 or whatever.
I think it was part 2. And don't forget Green Lantern.
Oh yes, I
I
was. That is a whole nother. That's a whole nother topic. I was so freaking disappointed. So disappointed when I saw that in theaters. I was so like, I was like, that's what I waited for. I waited for that. That's what I got. Oh god.
um but yeah, I remember watching this and I'm like, okay, so the new origin, because in the original, they have to piece together what happened, but it's implied that humans went to war, dropped a bunch of nukes, basically killed each other. Whoever survived, like all technology and stuff was lost, so humans just kind of got dumb. And the apes, I guess maybe due to radiation or just time, started evolving to be more man-like.
Mhm.
And over time, they made their own civilizations and their different working classes and stuff. I'm like, okay. But in this one, I'm like, all right, so a bunch of apes got smart and then they ran to the redwoods. I'm like, feels like a problem not gonna be solved in like a weekend. Just get some guns up there. We'll take care of them. Like, how is this gonna lead to the Planet of the Apes? I don't understand. And it turns out, oh, I skipped ahead. Sorry. It turns out that the virus that made them is also going to kill humans. So the one lab guy spread it to James Franco's what you call it, neighbor, who turns out to be a pilot. And I love this whole graph at the end that shows that he just spread it everywhere and basically just killed most human life on Earth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, that's clever. That does give the apes the upper hand in this situation. Um, so yeah, just a really great time. And they do reference the Icarus rocket
I was about to bring
going
it up.
to huh?
I was going to bring it up, and then I saw the slide. I was like, all right, we're going to get to it.
Yeah. Which I remember in the theater being like, oh shit, I didn't think they were gonna go there. Yeah, so I like they show like, oh wow, there's a rocket, and it made it to Mars and it's entering Mars, but then we get later on, it's like, oh, that rocket disappeared. Also, Charlton Heston is in the movie.
Oh yeah,
The
the
one
movie,
quiet guy is watching one of his movies. I forget the name of the movie, but yeah,
the agony and the ecstasy.
yeah, getting the ecstasy. So yeah, it was really nice. So yeah, at some point they have to circle back to this and just remake the original. Which you can do. You can remake it within this new timeline. It doesn't have to be leading up to a twist ending, which doesn't matter because everyone knows the twist ending in Planet of the Apes by now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool to know, like, as we're watching all these films, that there are humans from before the apocalypse that are just out there somewhere. They're just hanging out. Who knows when they'll get back? Yeah. So I love this movie. Really, really great. It's one that actually does get better. I do think people need to go back and rewatch this one. But yeah, one good thing that the series does, Logan, it doesn't oversaturate anything. Like they take breaks between films, which is nice.
Yeah.
Because when did Dawn come out? Was that 2015?
2014.
2014. All right, it's
Well,
2011,
so
2014.
another funny thing. So they announced the fourth one in 2016, and we
Yeah.
didn't get it till 2024.
Yeah, that was weird. I think I know why. Because then Fox, the whole Fox Disney thing, I think was
Oh yeah, there you
happening.
go.
But yeah, so Rupert Wyatt didn't come back for the second one. He was the director of the first one. And actually before that movie, he only directed short films and then one movie called The Escapist, which with Brian Cox, who I guess that's the reason he's in this.
Yeah, I haven't actually. I looked at his portfolio, and the only other movie that I might would probably have watched that he made would be The Gambler, but I still it looked kind of boring. I wanted to watch it for at the time when it came out, but I just never got
Well,
around to it.
that's the remake of the movie with the singer, right? Shit, he died. Hold on. Gambler is a remake.
Oh, okay. Because I know this one's what. Shoot. Oh God, what's his name?
Marky
It's
Mark's
Mark
in it,
Wahlberg. Mark
and
Wahlberg and
Brie Larson, John Goodman.
John Goodman. John Goodman. Yeah.
But it is a remake of the movies with Kenny Rogers.
Oh,
yeah, Kenny Rogers did a series of movies called The Gambler, and it's a remake of that. How many of them were there? Hold on.
I have to ask my dad about that because I'm sure he's probably seen those.
Yeah, was it hold on, were they movies or shows? They were movies. Because there's a great Reno 911 episode where Kenny Rogers is coming to town. And the one who is the one cop? Was it Ramirez? Hold on, Reno 911 side tangent. I just have to remember the name of the cop. It's been a while since I watched Reno 911. Oh my
Talking about
god.
an underestimated show, to be honest, man.
I can't bring myself to watch the Quibi season or the new movie because I just think it's going to be bad. Garcia. So Garcia is driving around with Kenny Rogers. He's like, man, I love all your work. He's like, I really love those movies you're in. He's like, Gambler 2, and just starts listing all the Gambler movies. But yeah, so then they did Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I had an issue with the title. I'm like, I don't know. It feels a little close to Rise, doesn't it?
Mhm.
But I guess this is the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. So we flash ahead. How many years? Oh, wait, no, it'll say in the next thing. I will read the thing right now, Logan. Gary Oldman, Andy Serkis, Jason Clarke, and Kerry Russell star in this thrilling next chapter of the Planet of the Apes. It is 2026, and humanity has been pushed to near extinction by a deadly virus. When a group of survivors, desperate to find a new source of power, travels into the woods near San Francisco, they discover a highly evolved community of intelligent apes led by Caesar, Andy Serkis. Two species form a fragile peace agreement, but dissension grows, and the groups find themselves hurling toward an all-out war. So I was really, my voice just cracked there. I was really pumped for this one, Logan. How about you?
No, this one, I did not see this one in theaters, so I did wait till like it came on HBO or something like that.
No.
I could even rented it or when it came out like on DirecTV or something like that.
Yeah.
But this one, I don't want to show my hand too early, but this one is amazing.
Yes.
This one is this story. It's so crazy because this was the movie that we got is so awesome, and we weren't even going to. This wasn't even the movie that they were going to shoot. That's the crazy part about it.
What were they going to do? Can you speak on that? Because I didn't look that part up.
So it was actually going to be the evolution of the apes, and Caesar was just actually going to take a back step, and he was just going to follow the tribe. And then when Matt Reeves took over, he said, I want to do this movie, but I don't like the script. And he's like, can I rewrite the script? And they said, that's fine, but you don't get any more dates. Like you still have to put the final product.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
So you can rewrite it from scratch if you want to, but you get no extra time. You still have to have the product done when the product was supposed to be done. And he rewrote the entire script. And the thing is, he is a huge Planet of the Apes fan.
Yeah.
Ever since childhood. And this is like one of his dream jobs. And you could tell because this storyline, how he tells it I use the word fantastic a lot, but I can't say anything better than fantastic because this movie, I was really shocked how good it was.
Yeah. I think it's one of those cases where, because getting back to Rise, how people were like, yeah, I mean, it was okay, but that next one was even better. Like, it is tough when like your first movie is really good and then your follow-up is like one of the most amazing things ever. Like, so some people will be like, Terminator 1's it's all right, but Terminator 1's also a really good movie. It just so happens that the sequel is like the biggest cultural thing ever.
Oh yeah, and then at the time I didn't even know who Matt Reeves was, to be honest. I mean, I had seen Let Me In, and I had seen Cloverfield, but I wasn't a big fan of Cloverfield. But then he does this. I'm like, okay, this guy, he's got something here because this is awesome.
You're telling me you didn't watch every episode of Felicity,
No,
the show starring Kerry Russell, which he worked on?
I have not seen every episode. No,
You're not a big Felicity fan?
No, I'm not a Felicity gal.
Hey, look, he co-wrote Under Siege 2: Dark Territory.
That is the best one.
Oh, God damn it. Now we can't do a what is the best Under Siege movie. Thanks a lot, Logan. You ruined it. Okay, I actually really like Cloverfield. I really enjoy Cloverfield. Oh, he also directed The Pallbearer. And I want to mention The Pallbearer starring what's his face from Friends, David Schwimmer and Gwyneth Paltrow and Michael Rappaport. Me and Joe last year, we did a Patreon exclusive live stream where I found a box of old video store
posters. I remember that one. Yeah.
I found one for The Pallbearer. So I can't remember The Pallbearer that much, but Cloverfield I actually really liked. I get why people wouldn't like it.
I didn't like the found footage aspect of it. That's the only thing I didn't like about it. If it was shot, because I don't get motion sickness, but that movie just made me very eerie to my stomach, and I just didn't enjoy the watch.
I get bad motion sickness, not usually from watching movies though, ironically, but it's one of those cases where I'm like, I really love that movie. I think it's great. But if someone said they couldn't get into it because it made them sick, I'm like, I can't argue with that. That is what it is. I still to this day have never seen Let Me In because I love the original so much. I'm why are we? Yeah. Apparently it is really, really good.
Oh yeah. And that's one of those movies you have to watch with the original audio. You can't watch the dub version. If you watch the dub version, it ruins it.
Oh yeah, the original Let the Right. I mean, his Let Me In, which I still haven't watched. I have heard it's actually a really good remake.
No, it is good, and it's there are scenes that obviously you can tell he tried to be pretty true to the original.
Yeah,
it just was that thing like, well, let's make an American version.
Yeah, I might do a what is the best Let the Right One In because they did a miniseries like a year or two ago.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
But I don't know if that's just like a more accurate thing for the book. But anyway, so yeah, this was the second movie I saw of his. Maybe I watched The Pallbearer in the 90s. I don't remember. And I was impressed. This movie is really good. I love like how quiet the movie is for long periods of time. We are with the apes for a long time before any of the humans show up. And Caesar managed to get a wife. He had a son. His wife is Cornelia. His son is Blue Eyes, and his younger son is Cornelius, which of course is a reference to Cornelius from the original. But yeah, he's leading the tribe. They're wearing war paint now. One of them they're starting to play with clothes because like the one has like little braids in her hair and stuff, so they're getting a little bit more smart. They're in their
doctors. The doctors have the thing around their face, like I don't know, whatever it is, like and it's not bones or something. I don't think it's bones, but you know what I mean. It's like some kind of like doctor mask.
They're in their Stone Age apparently.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, they've been living in the woods. Humanity died. They mentioned in the beginning, they're like, we haven't even seen them in like 2 years. Like there's no 10 years ago, it went to shit, but in the last 2 years, we haven't even seen them. They might all be gone. And they're still hanging out in like San Francisco, I think.
And that intro does a perfect lead into the movie.
Yeah.
It is bone chilling.
It shows the map from the previous one, but yeah, it's got like somber music and like the radio talking about this virus spreading, and then it just gets like you see the lights go off. Like that is a cool way to bring people up to speed.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, they're hanging out in California, and then they run across some humans, who are just survivors. They weren't wiped out in with the virus. I guess they had a natural immunity, although we find out that maybe no one has a natural immunity to this. And then we find out later maybe some actually had a natural immunity.
Well, yeah, that really confused. I will say I did have to literally after I saw Kingdom, I had to look things up. I was like, okay, I'm really kind of confused here.
I think I know where they're going with that.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Yeah. So at this point they bump into the apes, and it like, since it's only been 10 years, there are some humans that know what happened. They're like, yeah, There was a virus. It was man-made. The apes just kind of got it and spread it. Didn't realize that was happening. But then there's other people that are like this guy on the left. I forget his name. He was the bad guy in one season of Arrow. He's just like, the apes spread it. It's like, yeah, but it wasn't their fault. So like the humans have different ideas of the apes.
Yeah.
They know that there's smart apes out there and they're afraid of them. Mostly just because of the disease, but also it's like, what if they try to like mess with us? What will happen? But this guy, Jason Clarke, actually wants to work with them. His whole thing is, I want to get into your area. He's telling Caesar, it's like, I want to get to your area because there's a nuclear reactor and I want to turn it on so we can have power again.
Oh no, it's the dam.
It's the dam. Yeah, the dam, which is the dam, the reactor, and everything. Funny enough, I forgot to get the picture. The control panel for the whole dam.
Yeah,
I actually got to see that control panel. I went, and when I was in New Orleans years ago working on that TV show, we went to a prop warehouse.
Oh,
and they had like all the control panels from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes like there.
Oh, nice.
And I took a picture and I got to like hit all the buttons and stuff. It was cool as hell. I also got, Logan, you'll never believe it, I got to see the same outhouse that was used for Django Unchained and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. The same one. It was there, Logan. Now, when you watch those movies and you see those outhouses, you're going to be like, Tony was there.
I mean, I can't believe you took that off my bucket list, Tony. That's on my bucket list.
Well, I mean, look up a prop warehouse in New Orleans. I forget the name of it. But maybe you'll find that outhouse if it's still there. So there's this uneasy alliance because like Caesar grew up with humans. He knows they could be bad, but he doesn't like hate them. He's cautious of them because he knows they're not all good.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is he knows the humans closest to him can be great, but then he also knows those could be isolated incidents. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And he just has he has an understanding that none of them have. Even Maurice himself, he only knows humans to be bad from the surface. He's got this perception of humans that all the other apes can't relate to, and he's trying to show them they need help and we should help them because we need to kind of work together.
And also he's like, they do have weapons. They could come after us and
100%. He's smart. He knows. I don't know how he knows what like real war is, but he is, I guess, I don't know.
Probably read about it. He probably they probably watched movies. He learned a lot from just hanging out with them.
100%.
Yeah. But yeah, he doesn't want that to happen. So he's like kind of extending the olive branch a little bit. When I first saw this, I thought Gary Oldman was going to be like the main bad guy just from like the previews and stuff, but he kind of isn't.
I was going to bring that up. He's not a bad guy.
He's
just misinformed. That's it.
He is misinformed. And that's another thing. You can be misinformed. You could probably do the wrong thing, but like you have no knowledge that you're doing it. Because he hasn't really interacted with them. He doesn't know what they're trying to. That's at the end where Jason Clarke's like, no, you have to understand. They're trying to help us. He's like, what are you talking about? They just killed a bunch of us. Like, not all apes. # not all apes. Not all apes.
Well, that's even like with Koba. The only thing that literally makes him evil is the fact that he shot Caesar.
He does other evil things too.
But besides that, like the other evil things that he does, I can understand with them reasoning with that because of the fear of the humans. But the fact that he tried to use shooting Caesar's death as like a plot device to get everyone to follow him. That's like that. I think that's like, feel like that's the only action where like, okay, well, that is evil. Everything else I can kind of understand and get away with, but that's bad. That's not good.
Speaking of Koba, I really love Koba's evolution in this film.
Oh yeah.
He is the antagonist in this. But I like the beginning, like when there are no humans around, he is totally fine. He gets along with Caesar. They're laughing, they're having a great time, they're like bros. It's literally just when humans show up, that's where everything hits the fan. And it's a lesson that Caesar needs to learn in the film, because he says it himself. He's like, I thought apes were better, but until this whole thing with Koba, like Koba's hatred was so strong that it made him betray Caesar. It put the apes, or he ended up killing apes who didn't agree with him. And he's like, wow, we actually are like, now that we're becoming more like them, we also have a lot of their bad negative traits.
Yeah. And then also with another thing that I really like and how they worked on was I liked how Rocket was another still good character, I would say a major character in the ape community, where you had this one that didn't like Caesar, but now he understands who Caesar is and he is there to serve and follow Caesar.
Yes.
I really like how they built the apes' relationships. It wasn't just Caesar. Every ape kind of got their own moment to shine.
Yeah.
And I really feel like that was the driving force, because these movies do circle the apes and they are the main characters.
Yes.
They do a good job at making sure that each ape gets their time to shine and has their own backstory.
Yeah. And you can kind of see where Koba's coming from, because out of all of those apes, he had the worst experience with humans.
Oh, yeah.
He only
100%.
knows that, like, it was fine before he was like smart, where he's like, I guess this just is what it is. I hope I get a cookie. But then when he got smart, he's like, no, this is wrong. And I hate that. I hate everything about this.
Human work.
Yeah.
Human work. Human work.
Yeah. And then he's like, I do like how he tries to like make dissension. He's just like, Caesar likes humans more than apes, and Caesar doesn't enjoy that. But yeah, Koba, I don't know whether it's the specific virus he got. He doesn't have the benefit of like foresight and the consequences of your actions and everything like that. And it leads to an amazing showdown. The cinematography in this is great.
Oh, that mixed with the music is amazing.
Is phenomenal. Who was it? It was Michael Giacchino, right?
When I watched like a little behind thing with him doing the music, he said he definitely wanted to stay true to Jerry Goldsmith's original score. And you can tell when they're like doing the chasing scenes and they're like dun, 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 dun.
I noticed in the theater when I was watching it, me and my sister saw this in the theater as we're watching it. When they're pulling up on the human compound, there's like, and I'm like, oh my god, that's the old music. I'm like, oh, that's clever.
Yeah.
And like now more of them are riding horses. It's cool to see how they're going. One thing I want them to eventually explain hold on, let me do a science check real quick.
Are you going to bring up how a gorilla gets on the back of a horse? Because I looked that up and I don't think that's realistic at all.
No. Okay, so it's the simian flu. Were monkeys and other primates also affected, or is it just great apes and humans that are affected by this virus?
So I know when we get to war, that what's called it explains that more than just the ones that were there.
Yeah, but that's just apes. I'm talking like
gotcha. You're saying like a bird or something.
No. Right, so we're only seeing it affect gorillas, chimpanzees, orangutans, and bonobos. Which are great apes. But I'm talking about like monkeys, which are not.
Oh, gotcha.
Like baboons and old world monkeys. Like, what does the flu do? Unfortunately, like the movie is taking place in America where there are no native monkeys. They're all in South America. I mean, I guess someone might have had a pet, but I don't know how it's going to last in the winter time. they're not as built for survival as the other apes. But it is something I want to see. Even the original, I'm like, okay, well, I know what happened to the apes, but what about like all the other primates? Because it's not just human and apes. What are the other ones up to? So that's something I'd like to see at some point. Like, what's a super smart baboon look like? Probably Rafiki from The Lion King, now that I think about it. But yeah, a great showdown, great cinematography. I love I think he does this in a couple films where Matt Reeves will just like put the camera on something and it'll follow that object. That whole thing with the tank, where the tank is constantly spinning at the end.
Yeah. That's
shooting, and seeing Koba riding a horse with two machine guns was cool as hell. I do like when Caesar goes back to his old home and sees the window again, and he finds the camera with James Franco. They got a little James Franco cameo in there. Real quick, hold on. Yes, Johanna will be in the next episode. I see her in there. We're about to do super chats, but let me signal boost this. Johanna will be back in the store next week, although I don't know why, because I don't know what the reason was our channel was deleted, but probably Johanna and her politics. That's my theory. But yeah, so Dawn was incredible. It's got like a really sad ending where it's like, man, this was the moment for humans and apes to work together. And through a series of like assholes on both sides and miscommunication, it all went to shit. And like he sees her at the end. I love that moment with him and Jason Clarke, where it's like, nope, war has begun. Unfortunately, apes started it, and humans aren't going to stop because they call the North. They find like a northern army, and they're like, we're being attacked by apes. They're killing us. You need to stop them. And I love that moment where Jason Clarke's like, we really thought we had a chance.
Well, because that's what he says. He's like, humans will not forgive apes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like Gary Oldman kills himself to stop the apes because they're all up on the tower. And he's like, they're trying to stop. He's like, I don't believe you. Boom. I'm saving the human race. And like there's that great moment where just Jason Clarke just fades away like into the darkness. And it's basically saying like, yep, that was it. That was the end of peace. And then Caesar had to like win back the trust of his apes. Because even though they're all smart, he's just like, they won't follow me if I'm weak. I'm like, you guys haven't evolved past that? Like, you still aren't recognizing the smartest one should probably lead. You're still doing the strongest.
I will say Jason Clarke does a great job in this film.
Yeah. Kerry Russell's also really good in this.
Yeah, he's I mean, and then is it Toby Kebbell? Is it Kebbell?
I'd say Kebbell, but yeah.
Kebbell. Yeah, I mean, he has not been in a lot of great stuff. He's been in a lot of stuff. But like,
you don't think Fan Four Stick was good? You thought that was bad? He was a great Doctor Doom.
I didn't mind him in that. I didn't mind him in that. I don't like, even he was in Rock and Roller and stuff like that. Like whenever he's on screen, I do like his acting, and I think he's good. And I think he did a great job being Koba.
Yeah, you know it's funny. Andy Serkis played King Kong, and then Caesar. Toby Kebbell played Koba, and he ended up playing the motion capture Kong for Kong Skull Island.
Oh.
Just in that movie. And then, much like Andy Serkis, he also played an additional character in that film. Because I was like, wow, why'd they kill Toby Kebbell off so early in this? And I didn't realize he was also playing Kong. Yeah, so Dawn, really, really solid film. Before we get into the next two, we're at the halfway point here, Logan.
Well, there's another thing I want to
okay, bring it up.
So the comic book that
I didn't read any supplemental material.
So basically it's Charles Burns' comic book, and it's called Black Hole. It's basically about a virus that teenagers can get, and they give it back and forth with one another. So it's kind of funny, like it's like a virus, him reading that story also in this movie about viruses and so forth. Yeah. I thought that was kind of cool when I looked that up.
Yeah, it was cool. I did like Maurice learning to read a little bit more.
Oh, and I like how he's like a teacher. I love that.
He ends up teaching. And they have the rules. Apes together strong, ape no kill ape, and I forget what the third one was, but unfortunately they have to kill ape. Like Caesar is just like, you are not ape, and like throws Koba down the tunnel.
And apparently they had it opened up where they were actually going to make sure that they wanted in the film to let you know that he didn't die. They didn't actually want to show a body because they kind of were thinking about bringing him back for war.
He breathed at the very end, the post credit. He like breathe. You hear his breath, but no, I like that he died. Because then it would just be Caesar versus Koba again. It's like, no, he kind of needed to die because now Caesar has to deal with the consequences of what Koba did.
Yeah.
I just think that's more interesting. But yeah, let's look at some of our super chats here. Guys, new cameras, expensive. Please get your super chat in. Okay, first up from the Flail for $2. Late. Yes, I know. I was late. I'm sorry. Rob K. CGI chimp mommy milkers. Are they visible in that picture that I had? Hold on. Let's see. Oh, sorry. They're too obscured, Rob K. I'm sorry. You know what? If you want to see Ape Mommy Milkers, go back and watch me and Johanna's King Kong Lives episode. You'll see a lot of them. Frog Tony for $2. Oh, you asshole. Dick and Vito said to compliment your giant head. Logan. Okay, well, this is a bad visual because I'm closer to my camera than you are. Let me back up a little bit. I have a normal size head, right?
What's your hat size? That'll be a good indicator.
I don't know. I've never measured my head. You've met me in person. I have a normal.
I would say you have an average size head. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You know what? Is she still in chat? Johanna, one of my oldest friends, she will confirm that my head is normal size. I'm sure she'll vouch for me. She's about to leave a comment that says, Tony, Dick and Vito are wrong. Your head is normal. And I'm waiting for that comment to come any minute now. I can always rely on old, trusty Johanna. Nothing yet. Okay, let's read a couple super chats and I'll circle back to that. Frog Tony. Okay, he insulted me, but he gifted 5 Hack the Movies memberships. Thank you so much. Anthony Hudak for $2. Do you remember your reaction to the no scene? I liked it. Yeah, when Caesar says no. Which is a thing from the one of the original films where they're like the first ape spoke and he said no. So yeah, that was a cool moment. And I love the guy afterwards going like, it spoke. Your ape spoke.
I like how they're like explaining, like, no, you heard him wrong. You're like, well, all right, first off, there's 4 people here. We all heard the damn thing say. Who are you arguing with, man?
Stuff like arts. Johanna for $1.99. I miss Casilla. Hey, look, I spent most of the day uploading our catalog to a different video site. More on that in the future. Anthony Hudak for $2 again. Koba kills Ash. Apes not kill ape. Gravity kill ape. Yeah. So he throws Rocket's son over a railing. God. Yeah. When he like doesn't agree with him. That's where he like really crosses the line. Like, look, I don't agree with him trying to kill Caesar, but if it's like, hey, I just don't trust he has our best interest, I need to save us. But when he start killing people that don't want to just execute someone, I'm like, okay, you kind of crossed the line there. And here she is, my greatest friend ever to back me up. Tony looks like a bobblehead. You goddamn bitch. Oh my God. We're filming Saturday. I'm killing you. In Minecraft. Forgot we're on YouTube. I got to be very careful here. Look, only in Minecraft. Oh my God, where did everything go? All right, that looks like it's it for now. Let me check Twitch. We have nothing on Twitch. Cool. Okay. And that leads to War for the Planet of the Apes, which came out 2017. Yes. I might have told this story before, but I'm gonna tell it again. When I saw this movie, it was it was a little bit before rental reviews, I think. But me, Justin, Kieran, I think someone else went to go see this film when it came out. And this is the most bizarre thing in the world. Me and Kieran are waiting for food. Justin goes in. I come into the theater and I notice they're like sitting further away, Justin and them. So I sit in the aisle and I sit down and like Justin goes, oh, buddy. And I went, what? And this really big fat guy behind me goes, oh, come on. What the hell? I'm like, what just happened? I wasn't blocking him. I'm not, although maybe I do have a big giant head, but like, I like sat down. This guy was so pissed that I sat in front of him. He was like furious, like, oh, sorry. And I moved a couple seats down. And then sure enough, a minute later, Kieran comes walking in. And we're looking at him like, uh-oh. It's in this not having. So Justin must have done the same thing. So this guy yelled at like 3 people. This huge fat guy. Kieran sits down. He goes, "Oh, you got what the fuck?" And Kieran did the same thing I did. He's like, "Huh?" And he got up and he moved down a couple seats. And then for the rest of the film, this fat fuck farted constantly. I had to watch pretty much most of this movie in a fart cloud. So it's a really depressing movie, especially when you're being like gassed in the theater at the time. And that is like my memory of my theater experience was just weird fat guy that didn't want anyone to sit in front of him and could not hold his farts in. As for the movie itself, let me read the plot synopsis here. This very pixelated plot synopsis. In this thrilling climactic chapter of the Planet of the Apes saga, Caesar, Andy Serkis, and his apes are forced into a deadly conflict with an army of humans led by a ruthless colonel, Woody Harrelson. But after suffering unimaginable losses, Caesar resolves to avenge his kind, pitting him against the colonel for a final showdown that will determine the future of the planet of the apes, maybe? Logan, what did you think of this one?
I like it. It's good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, it's definitely, I like how it's different than it's like it's not a copy paste.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson's character, the Colonel, he is a completely different villain.
Mm,
And I really like how it's not just a rewash.
yeah.
And I think the way they projected the storyline was just as good as the last one, to be honest. I think it's a really hard to even say which one is better.
Yeah.
But it's hands down. It's thrilling. This one had a little bit more humor in it, and with the characters.
One character, they kind of needed the humor because this movie is really sad. Like I really like this movie, but like I've maybe seen it 2 or 3 times before this, spaced out, because I'm like, man, I'm gonna be like bummed for the rest of the day. And I'm like, it's a really good. You ever have that where it's like, I know this movie's really good, it's a really good movie, but I don't want to watch it because it's gonna bum me out.
Oh no! Have you ever seen the Chernobyl Diaries?
No, I haven't.
That series, like I watched, I swear to God, I felt like I was depressed for months after that series.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't kick it. I was like, I would just go to bed at night. I'm like, oh my God, that's what happens in that series. Some of it's true, obviously, but it was like so awful. I was like it really just like, I don't know, man. I just couldn't I could not get rid of it in my head. I was like, I definitely never want to watch it. It was great, but I never want to watch it again.
That's like the not the 2018 one, but the 2010 film Beautiful Boy. That's just a fucking sad film. And I'm like, I remember watching it at the time and I still own it. I'm like, man, this is a really powerful film. I'm never watching it again. I don't even want to talk about what it's about. It's just so depressing. So yes, a few years in the future, the apes are now at war with humans. Humans are specifically hunting apes. And I like the little text in the beginning to bring you up to speed. It's like this virus gave rise to the Planet of the Apes. And then like at the dawn of this, and now we're at the war. From like, oh, that's cool. I like that. There's a good opening where like the humans are killing the apes and they don't realize that like they were kind of set up as bait for other apes to come in and ambush him. And Caesar, because he doesn't hate humans like he probably should at this point, but he like does it. He can't bring himself to actually hate all of them. So I like that he like spares the soldiers who survived.
Yeah.
And he's like, go back and tell them we don't want to go to war. The one ape who started war, I killed him. And then you find out that there's like detractors, like apes that were loyal to Koba who sided with the humans just to basically save themselves because they were afraid of Caesar.
The donkeys.
The donkeys. One, because they're like mules.
Yeah.
And 2, because Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which I don't know why. Like they should be smart enough to know that like the humans aren't gonna like tolerate them for too long.
Once everything's settled, they're just gonna kill you.
Yeah. I guess they were promised to be spared, but I wouldn't buy that. No. But yeah, so he still has his boys, Rocket, Maurice, and this guy was in the last one. What was his name? Luca, I think. The new gorilla.
Yeah.
So they send this guy out. They're like, please tell them we don't want war. Please stop this. And meanwhile, his son, Blue Eyes, and Winter, an albino gorilla, friggin' traitor. They tell him like, hey, we traveled, we found a desert with an oasis with plenty of water and greenery where we can live. It's like, okay, we're gonna make the trip there. But tragedy strikes, Logan. The humans actually track them there, and they end up like killing a bunch of apes there, and they believe they killed Caesar, but they actually killed Blue Eyes and Cornelia.
Yeah.
Which now Caesar and Woody Harrelson specifically killed them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Caesar's just like, well, I need revenge. What the fuck? Cornelia survived. The baby survived, luckily.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Caesar's motivation, where he's just like, I need to kill this colonel. Because even if we leave, they're going to hunt us. He's like, I need to stop this. And he doesn't want to spare anyone else. He's like, I'm gonna
go ahead.
No, you go.
No. I really like how the progression of his hatred, where he has that like those visions of Koba, and where he's like sees himself turning into what Koba was.
Mm-hmm.
I really like how that progresses through the film.
And one of the things that makes him feel like Koba is he accidentally kills this little girl's dad. Yeah, well, not accidentally. Like they wander upon this base, and there is this guy who was a soldier at one point. He's got like the Alpha Omega logo, which I think is from Beneath Planet of the Apes, maybe. And he draws a gun on the apes because he assumes they're going to kill him. They all assume that they're going to kill each other.
Oh yeah, of course.
And Caesar,
that's all they've ever been told. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Caesar kills this guy, and he finds out shortly afterwards that he had a kid. So Caesar's on this revenge mission because he's mad at someone for killing his like child, and he just killed someone's parent. Like he's just like, uh-oh. Again, he leads to the thing. He's like, am I becoming like Koba? Am I becoming a ruthless monster? But there's something different about this girl, Logan. She doesn't speak. Which, I mean, there are people in like now who can't speak, but the apes don't realize that. They're like, something's up with this. And they wander, they come across other soldiers who also can't speak, who were executed. So that's like the mystery for them. I like what it leads up to. Because in my head, I'm just like, what's going on with this? What are they doing? Because I like forgot. Like I should have been smarter.
Oh no, I completely forgot too. I was like, yeah, I'm confused. Like in my head, I was like, all right, so were they traitors? I mean, did they cut their larynx or something? I'm like, I'm confused. Like, what happened here? Like, and then why can't I'm like, oh, is she just a mute? Is this not related?
Yes, I love the mystery. And then when it's like spelled out, you're like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
The best new addition to this is Bad Ape. Bad Ape is great. He's a very old chimpanzee. So he's been by himself. He was in the zoo and he's been by himself. He doesn't know how to sign because he never learned it.
Yeah, that's the fun. They're talking. He's like, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, he's like, what do you mean? I don't understand. But he's also kind of, because like apes are supposed to be like social animals. They're supposed to interact. And if you have like an ape like separated, they kind of like go a little nutty. Yeah, so he's talking constantly, and they got Steve Zahn to play him, and I really like Steve Zahn.
Oh, he's great. I've loved him ever since like riding in cars with boys. Like, he's fantastic.
Saving Silverman for me. That was my favorite.
Strange Wilderness. That movie.
Strange Wilderness was fun.
I love that movie. A lot of people hate it. I love it.
Ooh, the shark.
Yeah. Where also Bigfoot just walks out there. They just start fucking shooting him.
So he's wearing clothes because he's like balding and he's like constantly up in like the cold environment. I don't know why they all aren't wearing clothes at this point. Like even though they have fur, it should be pretty cold for them, right?
So apparently this is the tipping point. This was supposed to be reset it up for us to the ability to take this series and like this is the first evolution of them starting to humanize a little bit and starting to wear clothes.
Okay.
That's why he had him put on clothes. And then also his whole character. Did you figure out how he came up with creating the character?
No, they explain.
So his whole character was actually invented while they were doing press for Dawn. And someone asked a question to Andy Serkis, was like, well, do other apes get infected by the virus that weren't from the sanctuary, and
Mhm.
that's when they wrote this in because of that question during the like the press
Yeah.
surplus or whatever, and
Well,
they
I mean,
created
yeah.
Bad Ape to explain that.
Yes. Yeah, because I guess the zoo apes that they freed, I'm like, are we to imply that like they made it with the smart apes and their kids are smart? But no, I guess the virus also spread to other apes and like other zoos.
Yeah.
And they're just reproducing like rabbits over there. Because I looked up like how many apes are in California. There's not that many. I don't know if it factors in like how many are in labs or whatever, but like in zoos, it's not that much. Um, but I love that his name is Bad Ape because that's just what he was used to being called.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm Bad Ape. It's just his face is really funny when he's like looking at all the other apes and he's just like smiling.
Or like he
And
looks at the binoculars. He's like,
yeah,
"Oh," and they're like,
oh
"What?"
no.
He's like, "So small."
And again, you need it. He's not like a Jar Jar Binks where it's like too wacky and inappropriate. You like as serious as this movie gets, it's still like a PG-13 sci-fi like action thing. So you
Yeah.
need some levity in between it, and he provides it like perfectly.
Oh, 100%.
Um, and he's great. And I actually like the relationship between Nova and Maurice.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Nova, like Maurice understands like something's up with her, and I like how she got her name because Bad Ape was just collecting things and he has like a piece of a Chevy Nova,
Yeah.
and then she has a whole thing. She's like, hey, what am I'm not an ape, but I don't feel like a person. And he's like, you're Nova. And that's
Yeah.
Maurice only talks like twice, I think. It says
Yeah. He talks he talked was it the he
in
talked
Dawn,
in Dawn
he just
'cause
said run. That was
yeah,
it.
and then
Yeah.
he says the Nova, which apparently
Mhm.
is a audio clip from the original Planet of the Apes of
Yeah,
Charlton
from
Heston's
Charlton
voice.
Heston. It's like
Yeah.
digitally altered.
Yeah.
You are Nova.
Yeah.
Um, which was the name he gave the one girl. But yeah, I guess for some of the apes, it's just easier to sign because they're just not you. I guess older apes aren't used to talking. And for some reason, Caesar is talking like his ass off.
Oh yeah, he's
Uh,
talking a lot in this movie. A lot.
yeah, yeah. That could also be because, like, out of all the people who would have to interact with humans, it has to be him, so he
Hmm.
needs to like talk more. Um, so yeah, they're signing except for Bad Ape, who's talking nonstop. Woody Harrelson is great as the Colonel,
Oh yeah.
and I
Oh
saw
yeah.
an interview where he said he kind of regretted this part because he thought he could have done it better.
Yeah,
He's like, "What?"
what was it? He said he felt like he was like he wasn't giving his performance because of how they shot the scenes and the mocap and stuff like that. He said like
Yeah,
he wasn't as engaged because he
yeah,
was kind of taken off because I think this is like the first time he's done something like that.
yeah. And he did it again with Andy Serkis in Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. I guess he learned in that film. Keep forgetting Andy Serkis directed that.
I actually still
Uh,
have not seen it.
it's okay. It's fun. It's fine and fun. The Venom movies are fine and fun. Way better than Morbius and Madam Web. Madam Web commentary track with Once Over with Kaylee. I mean, Kaylee did Madam Web. It's available on Patreon, please. Cameras are expensive. Especially when you have to buy 3 of them. So yeah, he is a colonel, and I like his whole story because they realize something's going on. They're like, wait, why is he building this wall here? So yeah, Caesar gets captured by these guys and taken in. But it's like, okay, the colonel is building like a wall. He's preparing for something and he's killing members of his own like troop. What is the deal? And then we learn that the virus that killed the humans, it is still affecting the survivors. It's robbing them of their speech and their higher intellect, which is basically what the humans were in the original Planet of the Apes. They couldn't talk and they were kind of dumb. And I guess what this says, like, I guess it wouldn't make sense for that to happen naturally. So they're like, yeah, what if it was tied to the virus?
Yeah.
Which I thought was, again, normally I hate when prequels over explain shit, but in this, it works for me. It works for me because it didn't make me roll my eyes and I wasn't ready for it. I'm like, oh, cool. I like that.
Yeah, it makes
Um,
sense. It's like basically like just because you're immune does not mean you're immune forever.
yes, yes. And he has a conflict now because His way of dealing with it was to kill his own son and kill anyone who showed any signs of it, and to burn all their belongings, because he didn't want it to spread. And apparently his superiors, the other army, they don't agree with this. They're like, no, we can't just kill people. There's so little people left. We just can't kill them. Let's figure out how to stop this. So he's at, like, I love that even at the end, when humans have been pretty much eradicated and they really need each other more than ever, they're still fighting with each other.
I like that, because that is like that is basically what happened through those 10 years.
Yeah.
Is like, because it shows, like in Dawn, it shows that progression. After all government shut down, humans were just fighting other humans.
Yeah.
And for like survival.
Yeah.
And I like how it's like, okay, now we actually get real. We just heard about it. Now we actually get to see it happen.
Yes. Which was cool. And I do like the like ape crucifixes they have, because those X's are from the original. I think even the Tim Burton movies had those like X kind of scarecrow looking things. But Caesar finds out that they captured his tribe. They were able to find the tribe on their way to the oasis, and they captured them, brought them here. So now Caesar's got like a whole extra thing. He's like, God damn it. And I like that moment where he like yells at the guy for whipping the orangutan. All the apes start to cheer for him, and then Woody Harrelson kills the other one. But then I like that Caesar's ready to die. He's like, go ahead, kill me. I'll never like do what you want me to do. And like the apes, Lake, I think it was, like his son's girlfriend, they all start picking up the rocks and going back to work because they don't want Caesar to die. And I guess Woody Harrelson makes a point, because he's like, what if you were to kill me? So he's like, you're too emotional, Caesar. If you were going to kill me, all my men would just kill all your apes as retaliation. But I think Woody Harrelson also knows that too for Caesar's. Like, if I kill their leader, they're probably going to all just freak out and murder us. But yeah, no, he's a good, ruthless villain. But again, you kind of see where he's coming from.
Well, a
little bit.
Matt Reeves, he knows how to write a villain. Like, he's like, I mean, even go to like Batman and the Riddler, like he whatever his brain process is, he knows how to make someone who's teeter-tottering on evil and logical.
Yeah. Which are the most interesting villains. Although sometimes it is fun to just have like an asshole villain right off the bat.
True.
Who has like no real motivation. It's just like, I'm an asshole. Hold on, I'm looking up something because I have a comment about Matt Reeves. I want to see something. Okay. Matt Reeves. 2 hours and 20 minutes for the third epic film in a trilogy that's closing it. That's totally fine. You can have a long movie to close out your trilogy. That's great. The first movie in your new series does not need to be 2 hours and 56 minutes. Okay, look, I like the Batman. I thought the movie was good, but I really can't rewatch it much. It's too fucking long. And the story didn't need to be that long. It could have been condensed a little bit. Go back and watch our review of the Batman. I like that movie. That movie is good. Can we all agree it was too long, though? Will you agree with me, Logan, or no?
No, I mean, I will say, like, even these, to be honest, like, because I mean, with reviewing movies, you kind of start to like look forward to finding a movie that's only an hour and 30 minutes to review and to take notes for and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, like, when I looked up these, I was like, oh, every one of them's 2-something hours long. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Because you kind of like, don't worry, I love watching movies, but like, when you start to like look at them like a lot and like, oh, I got to rewatch this movie so many times and take notes on it. It was like 2 hours is like, you're like, I'm kind of done with this. So I do agree with like a 3 hour long movie. I don't think we've ever even actually True Lies, I think, is 2 hours and 45 minutes. I think that's the longest movie reviewed. And I hated writing the notes for that.
Rise of the Planet of the Apes was an hour and 45 minutes. Like, and again, if your first one is good and you know people are going to stick around for the other ones, feel free to extend the running time a little bit. 2 hours, close to 3 hours for your first film is ridiculous. But yeah, Woody Harrelson is great. I love the whole thing with the humans are now starting to regress. But yeah, it leads to an exciting finale where there's like the other army comes in. You hear he's just like, they're sending everyone because I guess there's just so little people left. They're like, this is our last stand. We got to take down this colonel because he has all the good weapons.
Yeah.
And like that's the thing. He's like, this was a thing, but it also was a weapons facility. So he's just like lighting up the sky. I feel bad for all those other soldiers. They like really don't stand a chance at first.
Oh yeah, all those helicopters get shot down.
Until like Caesar's like interference, they were kind of losing. Yeah, so they're all going, all war breaks out. The apes are escaping underground, which I thought was really cool. But I like that during this, the colonel's not there and his men are getting like upset. They're like, Colonel, where are you? And it turns out when there's a moment where Nova breaks into the camp to give Caesar food so he can live. And she leaves behind her doll, and they don't, like, the men are like, where'd this doll come from? And it spread the virus to Woody Harrelson, and now he's like all mute. And I like that moment with Caesar where it's like, oh, I could execute him, but he's like, he is like just defenseless. And he's like, I will be a bad guy if I kill him. Like, yeah, he was bad and deserves to die, but right now he is not the same person he was like the day before.
Yeah.
But he has enough knowledge. I guess it hasn't fully kicked in yet. Like, he knows what's about to happen. He ends up killing himself. But yeah, unfortunately, and this is also bittersweet, not bittersweet. It's like depressing. The guy that Caesar spared is the one who ends up killing him.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a bummer. Like, oh man.
I was hoping. So what I was really hoping was going to happen was I was hoping the preacher, what his name's Preacher or whatever.
Yeah.
I was hoping he was going to get the virus. Yeah. And then well, it'd be cool. Like, I was thinking, maybe Woody Harrelson's going to give him a command and he just can't comprehend that. And then we see Woody Harrelson kill him.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought that's where we were going to go, but honestly, it makes more sense for it to happen to Woody Harrelson or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gets blown to shit.
Yeah. And this ape on the left here, what was his name? But one of the
I don't remember. I just remember calling him Donkey.
Yeah, one of the donkeys. Like, he's on the human side and everything, but like throughout the film, what's his face? Caesar is like, hey man, and I think Caesar kills that other ape on accident. Was it Winter? They're trying to keep him quiet, and I think they kill him accidentally, right?
Yeah. Well, definitely he's got him in a chokehold. That's all I know.
Yeah,
I don't know if he like meant to kill him or if it was just meant to keep him quiet enough, and then obviously he suffocates him to death.
Yeah. But yeah, so this ape, he's like telling him, he's like, hey man, like, I know you don't like me or agree with me, but like, you're on the wrong side. These people don't care about you. You're betraying your own kind, really. And his hatred's blinding him, I guess. Yeah. But it isn't that moment where he's like loading the guys with big like military gun. And it's like he sees that he just starts killing all the apes with it. And then like that's kind of his like switch. And then he sees like Caesar's ready to sacrifice himself, and that's when he blows up the dude, and then he gets killed as a result.
Yeah.
But then like I'm like, wow, now all these humans are here with guns and they know the apes are there. How are they going to get out of that? Big avalanche takes care of them. I don't know if they all died, but a lot of them must have died.
Well, because that's another thing is like right before, like when they like looking at Caesar and he's the only monkey they see. Yeah. And it's just kind of like in my head, I was like, do they believe the same things as Woody Harrelson? Like
Woody Harrelson said, he's like, the only thing they fear more than me is you guys. Like,
gotcha.
They are also anti-ape. Their problem with Woody Harrelson was that he was just killing too many humans.
Yeah.
So they weren't able to, like, that was he's like, they're not able to study the humans who are affected because he keeps killing them.
Well, yeah, and then also they were talking about like how the apes were talking about how humans would try to climb the wall and then they would just kill their own humans trying to come in.
Yeah. So yeah, exciting finale, but they make it to the oasis and Caesar finally succumbs to his wounds. And it's a really sad moment. I like Maurice is there with him at the end.
Yeah.
Because that was like his closest friend. He just wanted to live long enough to know that the apes were safe and home. And Cornelius is like, I'll tell your son who you were, and we'll share your legacy. And then it pans up. I like that it pans up, and you actually don't see a lot of the apes' reactions. You see Rocket turn around and notice, but then like the camera just pans up away from that, and then it just shows the sky. And I really thought they were going to show like a little glint in the sky that was supposed to be like the spaceship.
Oh, like a crash landing down or something.
Not crash landing because it's too early for it to crash land down. But it'd be cool if it's just like up there, like.
like
because we don't
lost
know
in
where it
orbit.
is. Yeah, we don't know where it is. We know it was on Mars, and then it just disappeared. Um, so yeah, it's a bittersweet ending. And it's a really good ending, but it's like really sad. I'm like, I can't watch this all the time. But a
I
solid
love how
yeah,
Where he started like he actually has real sentences and actually speaks to
yes.
Caesar before he passes. I do like that.
Yes, and Nova's there, so it's showing like they are gonna try and coexist with humans even now, even when they probably shouldn't. I mean, I don't know what other humans she's gonna run into out there. Um, but yeah, it's a nice close to the trilogy. People say this is like probably one of the best movie trilogies of all time,
Hmm.
especially in modern day. There's like, I mean, what was the last like great trilogy? I mean, except for of course the the Dark Knight movies, and we all know why. We all know what really helped stick the landing for that franchise. But I'm trying to think of like other really great franchises
I
besides
mean,
like
the
Lord
only
of the
other one I
Rings.
can think of that's modern, and that may just be me, but it's not a trilogy. But I mean, the Guardians. I think all four of them are great.
Yeah, the Marvel ones are kind of tough though because in between their
I mean, all
films they
three of them.
have
Sorry, that's wrong. Yeah, what I'm talking about. There's not four of them.
yeah, three. No, but like in between all their films are these big crossovers. So I'm like, I feel like this is cheating a little bit
Yeah.
because you can't really watch Guardians 2 and jump right to Guardians 3 because you'd be like, what the fuck happened? Where is all these what is going on? But yeah, no, this might be the best trilogy in recent years, I think.
This, well, I was going to say the Spider-Man trilogy is not that bad. Um,
Oh yeah, the newest one. Yeah, it's
yeah, the
not
Tom
bad,
Holland one. Yeah, it's
but
not that
again,
bad.
that's another one where they
Yeah,
had
same thing.
adventures in between, and also his story started in another movie. I don't know. The MCU is a little different. I'm kind of like putting that separately.
Well, that's the thing. Well, you got to think of the most
Mm,
modern stuff we have is freaking superhero movies to compare it to.
yeah,
You're not a lot of like original franchises that
yeah,
aren't on major IPs have trilogies that we can really, I guess, associate to make
yeah.
an opinion on.
But yeah, I think when people think of like classic trilogies, though, like Indiana Jones before they ruined it, Star Wars before they ruined it,
Yeah,
just these kind of like self-contained trilogies. I feel like these new Planet of the Apes are the standouts, really.
yeah.
They really just like for me, they're better than most other like film trilogies in this modern day. I'm probably forgetting some, maybe. I'm not sure. Tomorrow I'll be like, wait, that trilogy was good. Why did I think about that? But yeah, Planet of the Apes goes away for a little bit. For a while actually, because then Fox ended up getting bought out by Disney. And Disney was like, we're gonna start making Planet of the Apes movies. And everyone who watched their Star Wars films went, oh no, oh no, oh god, no, please, no. But they were smart how they did it, and that leads us to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I was less hyped for this one because it's now Disney's in charge, obviously, but that's not a deal breaker for me. I'm not one of those YouTube channels, Logan. I'll admit when Disney puts out a good product once in a while. Yeah, so I was like, okay, well, the Caesar story's done. I'm glad they jumped further ahead. I like that. To not like interfere with any of those characters and stuff
Yeah,
that we
it's like
like.
at least 100 or something years,
Well,
right?
okay, so that says many generations, but I think in a lot of promotional material, they're saying 300, maybe 300
Okay.
to 400 years later. We have new characters now. We meet this eagle tribe. And okay, the effects weren't as good in this one.
So there are scenes where
Mm,
the effects are amazing.
yeah.
And then there's scenes where it's like this is very glossy and it's
Yeah.
giving me PlayStation 3 vibes. Where
Yeah,
like
which is weird because Dawn and War, like those close-ups on like Maurice and stuff in War are like phenomenal.
yeah.
And this movie also looks really good. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it does feel like a step backwards visually.
So I feel like the pinpoints that I can feel that like okay, this there's a dip in the animation
Yeah.
is at the beginning when they're in their original tribe and the
Yeah.
sun's hitting them directly around all the grass, and
Uh,
they're like that animation is not good. It's very
yeah.
soft looking. I don't know if they were playing with the light, but whatever they were trying to do with the animation from the light and the sun, it didn't work well. But when they make it to the beach, it
Yeah.
looks 10 times better. When they're on the
Yeah.
beach, they look phenomenal. And
Yeah,
it was
and by the way, at that point in the movie, you're invested in the characters, so like
yeah,
whatever like imperfections the effects have, you overlook it because of how invested you are.
yeah.
Which a good story and good characters can do that. It can forgive a bad or not. I don't want to say bad, but like a weak special effect.
Mhm.
Although there are some movies where the special effect is just really bad and it just doesn't work. But what really hurt it were the Eagles. I mean, I like the story with the Eagles, but the Eagles themselves look like garbage. I don't know what it is with like CGI birds. I feel like they never look that great to me.
Yeah, true,
Yeah,
true. Birds, snakes, all that kind of
yeah,
stuff. I feel like whatever small creatures that aren't like large in front of you.
mm,
I feel like also creatures that have limited mobility, I feel
yeah,
like are kind of hard to animate.
yeah, yeah. They just never move like real birds do for me, and it just takes
Yeah.
me out of it. So yeah, 380 years in the future, maybe. This particular tribe, they're eagle based. They do a lot of stuff with eagles. They're around Los Angeles, I think, because they go to LAX at one point. LAX is not far from where their tribe is.
Hmm.
And Noah, the new ape, he's getting ready for the ceremony into manhood. His father is the leader of like the bird tribe,
Yeah.
so he's excited for it. They're looking for eggs, and they show like, and so you learn in this film that they don't know who Caesar is, this particular tribe, but some of his teachings kind of passed on.
Yeah. I actually,
Yeah.
I have a theory behind like this movie. And I don't know if it's like if they took like inspiration from it, but it it plays almost kind of like if you think about like religion and tribes
Yeah.
and stuff like that,
Yeah.
it's heavily like okay, they've never been exposed to it, and so they don't know
Yeah.
anything of it. Then they go somewhere where then these people have been exposed to it, and then but then there's different interpretations of
Yes.
the
Which I
exposure.
like, which is that's fun when you
Yeah,
read history because it's like, where did all these ideas come from? How do
yeah,
we know for sure? Were they corrupted and whatnot?
exactly.
So it's fun to see this movie kind of explore it only with not real religion, so no one gets pissed off. But people probably still got pissed off. But yeah, his tribe gets attacked by a different tribe, and they're not sure why. Oh well, they know why. It's because they're hunting one human, which they don't even have a word for. They call them echoes.
Yeah.
Because I guess they echo through that tunnel that's near them. That's all I can think of. So only a few apes have interacted with them.
Well, so they attack them, but for some reason, I thought that it was because that what's the Caesar what's it Promaximus? What
Proximus Caesar,
Proximus?
the bad guy.
Well, isn't he like stealing tribes to build his tribes and all he does is just kills the elders and then they are forced to go to their
He is.
tribe?
I think that was just. I think they just did that while they were
Okay,
there,
okay.
but they were hunting her. They were
Got it.
specifically hunting her, and I guess when
Oh
they,
yeah, the scent and stuff. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
yeah. So and when they got there, they were like, "Well, while we're here, let's slave this tribe."
Gotcha.
And it's cool because they have Caesar's logo.
Yeah,
They're talking about Caesar. They're like, wait, this is not what Caesar wanted. I do
yeah.
love that they show the funeral for Caesar in the beginning,
Hmm.
which I was like, this feels kind of tacky. I kind of like where war ended. Do we need like an extra few minutes showing the funeral? But it kind of works to show like in the beginning with Caesar's funeral, they're like putting him on the funeral pyre, they're burning him. The apes are doing the strong together, showing that they
Yeah,
believe everything he taught, the symbols there. So to see how it's then corrupted later in the film, it worked for me when
yeah.
I
True.
saw that. I'm like, okay, all right, that worked. I'm actually glad we saw the funeral now. Um, but yeah, so he goes on a mission to save his tribe and avenge his father. On the way, he meets an orangutan named Raka, who's the best character in the film.
Oh, he's great. And I don't, to be honest, I don't mean to jump, but I don't think he's dead. I don't think he's
No,
dead.
I
I
don't
think
think
he's
so.
coming back because he was
It's
too much of a character.
it's
To,
weird he didn't come back in this one,
yeah,
but yeah, he is great because he is very intelligent. He's talking, so it's funny because like the apes didn't, I mean, they knew how to write, but they didn't have like access to a lot of the technology, so like that's why that the Eagle tribe has forgotten about Caesar. They just didn't write it down. People forgot, but he is part of like a religious group
Yeah,
who
really.
follows Caesar to the T. They think they know everything. It's fun as the viewers knowing the true story and then seeing Rocca's like interpretation of it, where it's like Caesar wanted this, and then they're in LAX, the airport, and they're like, "What is this?" It's like, yes, apes build this, and did you know they lived with humans? I think they took care of them.
And I like how they call them novas.
Yes, he's like, we will. So they run into this girl who looks very different than all the other humans. But she's not talking to them. He's like, we'll name her Nova. It's like, we call them all Novas. And then he pauses and he goes, we do not know why. So they forgot. They know they have to call it Nova, but they just don't know why. Also, the apes can still sign. They're still signing, but they mix between signing and talking. So yeah, Rock is great. He has like the Caesar symbol. One of his friends was killed by the rival apes. So he's like, okay. He realizes that there's this girl who's like following him. He's like, I think this is Caesar's will to let me follow you guys, because he wants to like learn more about the humans.
Yeah,
like because he knew that they were important to Caesar, therefore they're important to him. So yeah, he's just a very great character. We learn that Nova is not like the other humans. By the way, I didn't expect the humans to look exactly like they did in the original Planet of the Apes, like basically looking like cavemen from old cavemen.
Oh my god, they're like got dreads and everything. Oh
yeah. But yeah, the humans they're still dumb. I mean, not dumb, but they're like they know how to survive, but they're not like dressing nice anymore. They're like cavemen, basically. They're like, well, we'll just put enough clothes on to protect us from the elements. That's it. Let's go drink at the lake. They forgot how to use all their technology and everything. I did like that there's wild zebras. I thought that was fun.
mm-hmm.
Not every animal from the zoo could have possibly survived, right? Because
Well, I like how they integrate modern, like old, statures and stuff like that. Like what is it? Like those power towers is where they were. I like how after it burns down, it was just like a power line tower. That's all it was.
Yeah, they just
I like how that's cool. So you're like, okay, so this is not just the woods. This is somewhere that just is overgrown and used to be something.
Yeah. Like I say, he goes to that one area, you don't realize it's LAX until like the big pull out and you see all like the planes all around it.
Yeah, the mural and stuff.
And I liked when May, as we learn her name is looking at the humans and she's like crying. And they're like, oh, I don't wonder why she's so sad. It's because she doesn't relate to them. And we learn that she can talk. She is smart. Mm-hmm. There are still humans out there who are intelligent, who are in hiding. Which we learn is why Proximus wants her, because he is aware of these smart humans and he's got a lot of questions for them. And what I think that is leading to is beneath the Planet of the Apes, the super intelligent subterranean humans. Mm-hmm. I think that is what it's leading to, which is cool. I didn't think they would actually go there, but I'm like, all right. I mean, you might as well go there. That's a cool element of that second film, where they had like the nuclear bomb and everything, and they just kept thriving underground away from the apes so they could stay alive.
Yeah, almost kind of like it's literally like a quarantine kind of scenario.
Yeah, it actually reminds me of the whatchamacallit. It's like a reverse of the Time Machine. Where like the Morlocks were the humans underground, and what was it, the Awoys or whatever? Where like the humans up above, but they just like flipped it. Where like the subterranean ones were like the really smart ones. So I think that's what they're implying with that, because in this film you find out that Proximus Caesar, he wants to open up this big facility, this underground bunker where all like the human the country's government went to when the world fell. They like all hid out in here. Obviously it's been hundreds of years, so they're all dead. But like Proximus, he knows, he's like, there are things in there, technology, weapons that will help apes advance further than they are now. Because they weren't smart enough to use all the technology that was available to them at the time, and they let it all go to shit. That's another thing. the world's got to be pretty irradiated right now, right? With all the the nuclear reactors not being managed. I assume something went wrong in parts of the world.
Oh yeah, of course.
We should probably see what that's like at some point. I'd like to get out of California at some point in the series. I'd like them to actually make it to New York. How'd that statue get like that? I want to know.
Whereas like I mean, even like what is it? Shoot, even if like because there's still I know there's still several nuclear reactors that are still in the United States that are still
Yeah.
working to this. I mean, I know I mean well, there was one in Tennessee that I was very popular, and I remember like going into school, and they were like, if there was ever a place that a terrorist attack would happen, like we were supposed to be cautious because we had a nuclear reactor that still was empowering and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I always had that little fear in the back of my head during 9/11.
Yeah, there's one in Pennsylvania, not too far from here. So yeah, that's my whole thought. It's like, wow, world's pretty fucked if no one's managing that. There's probably a lot of things that humans need to manage so things don't go nuts that would probably affect the world.
And I also like this picture you got here.
Yeah.
I like this scene a lot.
Yeah.
Because we brought up the religion earlier. He is talking like a preacher on a sermon, 100% when he's speaking to those people.
Yes, and Proximus Caesar is played by Kevin Durand.
Great actor.
Who's an actor I really like, who was recently in our last wrap up was in Abigail.
Yeah.
He's really good in Abigail.
Yeah, he's good in, was it Smoking Aces?
Yeah.
What is it? He was really good. Like, did you ever see 3:10 to Yuma?
Yeah, years ago.
Yeah, he was really good in that too.
Yeah. And of course he was Barry in Resident Evil Retribution.
I did not see that one.
You're okay. He was not a very good Barry. He didn't say Jill Sandwich the entire film. Yeah, so Proximus Caesar, a total asshole. You're right, he is doing the whole preacher thing, the tyrannical leader. You find out that he knows how to do all this because he's got his own little human. And I was not expecting William H. Macy in this. Were you?
Oh, I had no idea he was in this movie.
I had no idea. So William H. Macy is one of the smart humans who defected from the other humans because he's just given up. He's like, no, the world belongs to the apes. Like, he doesn't like that the humans are like, we can go back to the way it was. We'll do this and we'll fix that. It's like, no, that's done. That's done. We got to live in the world that we're in now. Apes are running the thing. We might as well live with them now. But he's teaching Proximus Caesar about all like the Roman stuff. So he kind of likes that the most. So yeah, I don't know if Caesar was already enslaving people before William H. Macy came to him, or if he was like, hey, well, this is how the guys in the past did it if you want to do that. But he also, I like that he knows that they can't break into the vault. Like when they're ready to blow it up. And he's talking to what's her face, May, and he's like, watch this, and like a bunch of them get killed. Shit, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh God. Oh, Logan, are you there?
I'm here.
You're breaking up. Am I breaking up?
No, you're not breaking up. Am I breaking up now? I'm still here.
Oh God.
I'm still here.
I'm typing in the chat now. Are we breaking up?
I see you fine.
Apparently I'm not breaking up, but you are? Hold on. You're like totally frozen on my end.
Do you mean leave and come back? Now you broke up.
Hello?
Do you mean leave and come back?
Okay, do you want to exit out and come back in? Let's see if that fixes it. Okay. We're not breaking up on my end. It was like my camera was flipping and he was just frozen. Hello?
Better?
Yes, better. Apparently, like on the stream, we were fine. But me personally, you were breaking up. How was it on your end?
Oh, you were fine. You didn't breaking up at all.
Okay, then I guess it was my shitty internet then. I was just like, That's weird that it sent it out normally to everyone else but me.
No, it's funny. So like I usually do Wi-Fi, but like I got tired with it being so shoddy. So I got a
Yeah.
200-foot long Ethernet cable to run all the way down to the basement where the router's at.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
just
don't worry.
go ahead.
I am hardwired in, but my internet in this house sucks. It'll just turn off occasionally. The one day I was live streaming with Adam, and it just decided to turn off in the middle of the stream, and I had to like go on StreamYard through my phone. It was like a whole shit show. So I thought that was happening, and that's my biggest fear every time I do a live episode. I'm like, please don't crash, please don't crash. Anyway, so yes, the humans. May really wants to get in there. She knows a way into the facility without opening the door. And Caesar, oh, not Caesar, Noah, he knows that she wants to go in there, and he's like, hey, if we help you in there, are the things that could like hurt all of us, can they be destroyed by water? And she's kind of like, yeah. So the agreement is that she will go in and get something that can help humans, and she's gonna help them flood the entire facility so
Yeah.
Proximus can't use any of the weapons in it or learn how to use the weapons in it. And I like when they're teaming up and doing this, William H. Macy finds them doing it. And I do like that May just kills him.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those, like, this is so important to her. She's like, I can't risk you doing it. And she just, like, murders him. And the apes are, like, looking at this like, oh, shit. Because their only exposure to humans is mostly just hearsay. They haven't even witnessed them. But they've been told that they were, like, just mindless or whatever. And here they're, like, talking, yelling, and killing each other.
Well, because they're almost, like, somewhat, like, scared of them.
Yeah, because they're yeah. Because they don't remember what they were like beforehand. But I do like that Noah learns. It's like, hey, everything you know is wrong. Humans ran everything and apes were subservient, and they don't like know how to process that. They're like, what?
Yeah.
And it causes tension. It's because he's like, well, do you want the world to go back to that? And May's just like, well, that's the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah. That's, I mean, she's like, it's weird because, like, yeah, I get where she's coming from, but almost it still has like a kind of like a little bit of hate. You can tell she still has hatred towards apes.
Well,
Not straight up saying it, but you can feel the like.
I don't think it's hatred. I think it's just fear because they are superior and they could screw everything up. And humanity, as she knows it, how it's supposed to be, will be done if the apes like actually make an effort to exterminate them. So I get why
there, yeah.
She is like the way she is, and it leads to like a fun finale where like they go throughout the whole facility. We never see any bodies,
Like,
but
human bodies?
I'm guessing because she knew how to get in that someone had raided stuff from it earlier. That's what I'm assuming, or the original inhabitants left to go set up some other facilities. But yeah, it's like she opens it up and she realizes like Proximus like figured out what was going on. And I like that she has a moment where she could like help him because she has a gun. She could kill Proximus and everything, but she's like, I'm just gonna flood this. I don't care that you're all in here. It sucks that you're all in here and you're probably all gonna die, Noah and your whole clan, but I can't risk this. So that was a good moment. I like that how morally gray she is. But you get it from her perspective. At least I got it from her perspective. But yeah, then the rest of the movie is just a fight between Noah and the people who killed his father. He kills the gorilla who killed his father. And then he fights Proximus, and there's this thing where he's like, there's a song to call all the birds, but I can't sing it because I haven't earned it. And they used it at the end to kill Proximus.
Yeah.
Kind of an okay finale. I thought the movie was building up to something bigger.
To be honest, I didn't want them to kill him. I would like I would like to see him in a second film come back to try to like, I don't know. I would like to see like something more with his character because I did like his character in the movie.
He was good. He was good. I like when she kills one of his like subordinates and he's not afraid of the gun. He just immediately starts hiding behind the other apes and he's like, hey, you can totally leave. I'll let you go. Are there more guns like that in here? Because I want to use them. Huh? He's like ducking. I'm like, that's really funny. That's really good. But now he never like quite was on Koba's level, at least in terms of like impact. He didn't really wasn't as good as Koba or Woody Harrelson, I think. But yeah, I got the whole story with him using the eagles at the end. But yeah, it ends on this note where like May goes back to the other humans and they're able to they're able to fire up these satellites and contact other humans. So there are still intelligent humans out there, and I think they're going to be the underground dwellers from beneath the planet of the apes.
And my thought process is now that May has left, to my knowledge, she can't go back because she can contaminate them.
Right. Because when she meets up with them, the girl, who I know that actress, not personally, but she shows up in a bunch of random stuff. She was like in the last Jurassic Park movie, I think. She's like in a suit.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. She can't like interact with them until they figure out like a cure and everything.
Yeah.
I do like that she tries to apologize to Noah at the end. And like explain herself, but she has a gun behind her in case.
Yeah, right.
Like in case. So it's like she still doesn't fully trust them, and they shouldn't trust each other. Hold on, I'm trying to look up the yes, the mutants is what they were called, and they worship the divine bomb, which was a nuclear bomb. In Beneath the Planet of the Apes, and it had the Alpha Omega logo on it, which was used in War of the Planet of the Apes. So I think that's what's going to happen. The smart humans are going to become the underground like dwellers, thousands of years from now. But yeah, I saw it last night. I had a good time with it. I didn't like it as much as the trilogy, but I mean, if this is supposed to be a new trilogy, this is the Bronze Age of the Apes, I guess. I'll see how it plays out in the next one. But yeah, Logan, we've made it. We've made it to the end here. I'll start with you. What is the best modern Planet of the Apes?
Dawn.
I
think Dawn. That's my favorite to watch. That's one I can I feel like I can rewatch more, and I really just like that. I don't know. I just like that betrayal storyline and him coming back, and I do like there's I guess happier versions of human beings in that one versus that war being so depressing. There's no good humans but Nova.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I don't know. That one's I think that's my favorite.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you. I think Dawn is the best. Although War is. It's like really neck and neck between Dawn and War. And Rise is also good, but Dawn and War were just a step up from Rise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think overall I enjoyed Dawn a little bit more. Maybe because I had a better theater experience with Dawn and I wasn't covered in a fart cloud with an angry fat guy as I was in War. But yeah, solid trilogy. The new one's fine. Kingdom is fine. It's not wowing me. How did you feel overall with it, like toward the end?
So, I mean, okay, I try not to go in and be like biased by it, but it was kind of like it's one of those things where the last two are so good and it's a new director. You kind of like, well, what are you going to do? It wasn't bad. Like it's not a bad film.
No, it's not bad at all.
No, like me and Becca saw the last Ghostbusters movie, and I left the movie theater being not happy. Like I'm like, it wasn't. I feel like I kind of wasted my money.
Frozen Empire.
Yeah, I like Empire. Like I didn't like it. You know what I mean? So like, but this movie, I still left liking it.
Yeah.
But also, it's hard because the last two were so good.
Yeah,
and it's hard to disassociate the ones before it with this one.
It's tough. It is tough where like you're following like two of the best sequels ever.
Oh
like,
no,
it's a tough act to follow.
And I don't want to be like, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer saying like, oh, it wasn't good as the last two. It wasn't, but it still was good. It was entertaining. I never got bored when I was watching it. So like I enjoyed it the entire time I was in the theater. Like I said, there's stuff I really liked. Like I did like Caesar Proximus or whatever. I did like him. And I did like the whole religion aspect. And what was the orangutan's name again?
Raka.
Raka was fantastic. I want more Raka.
Great. He has to come back.
He has he's not dead. I mean, I'm sure orangutans can swim. I'm sure
I don't know how good of swimmers apes are, but he could wash up on shore.
Yeah.
Oh, that is one thing though. When what you call it, May, when they're fighting on the bridge, May is able to like push the one gorilla or something. I'm like, never in a million years.
Yeah.
Like she's able to like kick off a thing to knock the gorilla. I'm like, no, that gorilla, as soon as that gorilla got his hands on you, you're dead. You're dead. Like there's no way. I'm like, I can suspend my disbelief only so much.
Well, that was like the gorilla on the horses, and I was looking up. I was like, "Oh, how much does a gorilla weigh?" I'm like, "Okay, a gorilla weighs about 1,000 pounds." I'm like, "And a gorilla weighs about 600 pounds, and a horse can hold 20% of its weight." I'm like, and so it's like, if that horse is 1,000 pounds, 600 pounds is more than 20%. There's no way a gorilla could ride a horse. But then I'm just ruining the movie for myself.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that is the thing. It's like maybe the gorillas shouldn't be riding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as of right now, Kingdom is the weakest. But who knows? Maybe the sequels will go in a direction that'll make us look back on this one and be like, oh, actually, now that I kind of appreciate this one more. Yeah, overall, like I honestly don't think there's really a bad Planet of the Apes movie. Even the Tim Burton one, I don't mind. Like as its own thing, I'm like okay with it. Like they're all entertaining to some degree. This new series, as I said in the beginning, takes like all the elements from the old films, but just does them so much better. Except for the original. That's kind of like its own thing.
Did you play the game by chance?
No, I did not play the video game.
I was just wondering. I didn't know it existed until I was doing research. It came out in 2017. I was like, oh, I was like, I wonder if Tony played it.
There was a new game in 2017?
Yeah.
I thought you meant the 2001 game.
No. It's 27. I believe it's 2017. Yeah.
What is this? A mobile game? What the fuck? Hold on. Planet of the Apes game. Last Frontier. What is this?
Because it obviously you can tell where it's inspired by like Dawn.
Yeah. I'm looking up The Last Frontier. I've never heard of this game. Planet is a narrative adventure game of conquest, betrayal, and survival when the fates of a tribe of apes and band of human survivors intertwine, two worlds collide, blah, blah, blah. Oh, so it's like a choose your own adventure sort of thing? Huh. I'm gonna look into this, Logan. I don't want to buy it for $20. Maybe I'll just watch a Let's Play. But yes, Logan, I'm gonna go through some super chats here.
Okay.
Get your super chats in, people. Get them in, get them in, get them in, get them in. Okay, Daniel Fall, member for 6 months, says, Tony, I need Johanna back. Just unban her right now. I didn't ban her. Oh, wait, no, I read that one. This is a new one. Blood is Bad for $5. How dare you not include the musical version with my favorite actor, Troy McClure, who you may remember from Alien Nose Job. That's obviously a Simpsons reference. Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas,
Yeah.
Dr. Zayas. Which Raka did look a lot like Dr. Zayas. Okay, so going forward, what was it? In the original, it was like the chimpanzees were working class, the gorillas were military, and then the orangutans were like the religious and political leaders. I want to see the ape civilization get there. Because clearly, if there's more like Raka, then those are like, they're hoarding all the intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see what leads there. And like, as we learned from Dr. Zayas, they know about the past and they're hiding it from the other apes. So that'll be interesting to see. And will they do the nuclear war? I don't think they're going to go do the nuclear war with humans bombing each other. I think the viral outbreak was like their version of that to get rid of the humans.
Because apparently they brought the virus up in Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, there was a virus that killed dogs and cats, so humans were like, we need pets, let's do apes. I'm like, there are a million other animals you go to before chimpanzees. Oh my god, why would you ever? Not even monkeys, you jumped right to apes. That's a horrible idea. Psycho Jet Black for $2. Is Logan secretly Brock Lesnar guy / fan from WWE?
Is that a character?
Hold on. Brock I know what Brock Lesnar is, but
No,
Brock
yeah.
Oh yeah, there is a guy called Brock Lesnar guy. Uh with your hat, okay. Yeah, if this guy was also wearing a hat, I could see at a glance you might look like him a little bit. But no, that is not Brock Lesnar guy. Sorry. Girk Pectus. I can never pronounce that right. When I saw the first movie in theaters, everyone in my theater said, "Oh," when they showed the baby monkey, except my dad, who loudly said, ugly monkey. They're apes. Thank you very much. That's pretty funny, though. Anthony Hudak for $2. 2024, year of the tyrannical ape villains. Yeah, this is a good year for apes, isn't it? Planet of the Apes, Godzilla, Kong. Man, we're the reject cape shit, embrace ape shit. That is the new Hollywood. Hollywood does love doing ape things like every few generations. Ryan Powell for $5. The third movie was totally a combination of the Book of Exodus and The Great Escape. Did anyone else notice that? Yes, I did. Especially with like Caesar will take him to the promised land, but he won't be with them there. It's a lot of that. Let me check Twitch, see if we got any bits. No, we did not, but that's fine. Logan. That's fine. I mean, I mentioned several times that I bought new cameras, but that's good. Logan, tell us about Video Villa Entertainment.
We are a movie review podcast. It's me and my other duo, my wife, Becca. We review movies and so forth. Very similar to a lot of other podcasts out there. But if you like Tony's channel, I think you'll like ours. So give ours a try if you want to try something.
How dare you compare yourself to me, you simpleton? I am the great Tony from Hack. Sorry, that Proxima Caesar really had an effect on me. My bad. Continue.
What's he say? Does he say, "Oh, glorious day"? Does he?
He goes, "What a wonderful day!"
Yeah. I literally thought it was like in a southern church at all of a sudden. But yeah, no, we don't have any like we review all kinds of movies. You know, nothing like we don't usually review like more recent stuff. But more just like nostalgic stuff. And we just finished up this month with May There Be a Sequel, so which we reviewed reviewed the sequels of movies of the first that we have already reviewed. So like you see there, we just did Friday the 13th Part 2, and before that we did Beverly Hills Cop Part 2, and then tomorrow comes out Rambo First Blood Part 2.
Oh, fun. Yeah, and check out that whatchamacallit, the
Invisible Man episode.
Yes, Memoirs of the Invisible Man. That was a fun movie to revisit. I enjoyed that one a lot, actually.
No, it's still a good movie. I mean, it's like you said, it's one of those forgotten John Carpenter films.
Yeah. So that is it from us. Again, like I said, unless we got any last minute super chats, get your last minute super chats in. Next week will be the monthly wrap up. I should be announced. I still need to see a couple of the movies. I just started X-Men 97. Spoiler, X-Men 97 is on the list, and I just had to binge all 5 seasons of the original X-Men. Which was, man, that 5th season when they switch animation studios, holy shit.
That was for like the what was it? It was an overseas company, I remember.
Yes, but also they didn't. What was that? No, also they didn't want to pay like all the voice actors, so every episode is like only 2 or 3 X-Men. It was rough.
I think they also like the Philippines or something like that. Some like really small animation studios.
And I think they might have done it like because the beginning of the season didn't look too bad, but like the last like 4 or 5 episodes, I was like, holy shit, this is bad. So yeah, I just started 97 today. Speaking of X-Men, the Monday's episode will be X-Men First Class. Johanna's coming back for that. I will try to get that up early on Patreon or for YouTube channel members. This past year, actually last year now, I've been putting up early episodes. It's been fun. Sometimes I make mistakes and fans let me know and I change them, or they don't let me know and I get really pissed that the Gladiator episode has me like Googling something for like 30 seconds and no one said anything. But if I had I didn't get to do it for the last one, Worst RoboCop. If I had put it up early, someone would have told me that I got one of the characters' names wrong and that I forgot to put the outro on the episode. So if you want to help me do my job, pay for Patreon. You also get a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Like I posted a thing like a bunch of upcoming episodes. You get to be on the show like Logan. Logan was a $10 patron and he got to be on the show. And I mean, conveniently, he doesn't live far, so I got to meet him in person also. Yeah, and you get to call into the live shows, which we're going to do next week. It's going to be great. Yeah, this was fun, Logan. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, no, thank you.
Apologies to the other channels who offered. When I found out I knew like someone I knew, but we've never actually done a one-on-one episode here before. We're planning one in the future. So this is fun. I'm glad you reached out and we were able to do this. And like I said, you're just way better than Gil. You have a better channel than Gil. I think he pays to like suppress your views. Honestly, you should be bigger than Gil. You're better looking than Gil.
Gil, I do not support these messages if you're listening.
Don't be. Don't.
You're like,
better.
Shut up.
You shut up. You're better than Gil. Gil right now is at some big hot shot. I'm a big YouTuber party. He thought he was too cool to hang out with us. Friggin' traitor Gil over there, who might have got my channel shut down. I don't know. I can't prove it wasn't him. 1 minute I have a channel, show up on his channel, no longer have a channel. I think it was Gil. Gil will probably be on the live episode next week, so look forward to that. And follow my socials. I will be announcing the Mahoning Drive-In events, Logan. I booked 3 events at the Mahoning Drive-In, including VHS Fest. So.
Oh, nice.
So that's going to be a good time. And yeah, that is it from us. Goodbye, everybody.